Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome, friends and family from around the world, to the Energetic Life Now show. I am your host, Eric Stenlake. Whether this is your first time tuning in live or you're watching replay, I just want to extend a very warm welcome to you and thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Today's show is being shown live on Zingo TV at the Spanglish World and her networks on channels 250 and 251. Now, if you don't have the Zingo TV app, encourage you to download it. It is free, and you can put it on all of your Android and Apple iOS devices. Give us a like and a comment. We really appreciate that. Zingo TV, friends, is also available on your Google Chromecast, on Amazon Fire TV sticks, Roku sticks, and on all smart TVs 2016 and forward. So here we are, December the 27th, couple days after Christmas, and it is my absolute honor and privilege to welcome to the show my dear friend and colleague from the Neuroencoding Institute, Emily. Emily, thank you so much for being here. How the heck are you?
Thank you, Eric, for having me join you today. I am doing amazing today. We're getting our first snowfall. It's quite beautiful outside.
Snow? I'm allergic to it. It's too cold. I have to be in the Southern California sun. That's where I gotta be. That's where I gotta be. And you know what?
Enjoying that.
Yeah, well, it's cold here. We've got some winter. We just turned the corner finally from into what we call our Southern California winter. So it's, to me, it's freezing, but it's like 65 degrees.
That sounds like dream weather to me. 65.
I know. I'm such a baby. I grew up in the snow, and now my blood is thinned out, and any little drop in temperature, and we're freezing. So listen, we're 2 days past Christmas, and I don't know about you. I think I just finally got out of my pajamas today, and I was like, I gotta be presentable. I'm getting on live. Like, we're just, oh my gosh, isn't it great? Like, the days after, you're just like, oh my gosh, we did so much over the last few days. You know, how was it with your family? Were you guys just going a mile a minute?
Well, actually, this Christmas was a little bit different for us. We decided to take a journey to Christmas, and really kind of started at the beginning of November with me and my girls, celebrating at various moments when we just felt called to, and it became Christmas every day in a way for us, and practicing our presence with each other along the way, and growing it up to Christmas, like creating this new, in my household, this new belief, this new appreciation for just the presence of each other. And even my 7-year-old was on board with it and like got it. She's like, she was a little bit concerned about Santa coming. Is he bringing presents? And I was like, remember, what's the greatest gift? And she's like, yes, presence with you, Mom, and my sisters, and us just being able to be together and enjoy our time together. So, I chose to stay. We chose to stay away from the busyness this year, and I did get to go to an amazing dinner party at my brother's on Christmas Eve. Went to Christmas Mass, enjoyed that, and Christmas Day it was just me and my girls. We took it easy and had some fun. Played the game of life, and
It's such a great game.
Right, it was an interesting experience. I hadn't played it in I don't know how long.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. And I love the whole perspective that you've been really focusing on the presence. And I'm so glad you're on here today, because friends and family, wherever you guys are around the world, it was very purposeful and intentional that Emily's here today, because I really want her to dive into this whole concept about presence. Because you've been doing, as you just said, you've done this big kickoff to being present. What does that mean? And you've gone through this journey to presence and the journey into the holiday season in a really unique and magical experience, which people can go onto your social media and find all that. So first of all, give us a little bit about your social media, where to find you, so that people can connect with you.
Yes. Well, my Facebook page, my personal profile, Emily Celine Surdyke, and Loving Life Coaching and Ignited Presence. I have a couple of different places you can find me. And then on Instagram, A Pirate's Eye Perspective, and also as well as Ignited Presence. My A Pirate's Eye Perspective, I started years ago, and it began with a journey of presence. However, I didn't really realize it at that time, but it was in moments of me experiencing beauty in nature, and sharing photos while I was out on my walks, and just finding that when I would share those moments of my own inspiration, that it was inspiring others. And I just kind of grew it from that to many different versions of me sharing presence. And what is presence? And to me, it is being in that moment without distraction, without judgments, without thoughts, a busy mind, being able to be with someone and engage with them, and just see the beauty just within them, no matter where they are at in their life, and to come together and to connect and just have that. It's like almost like a bubble sometimes just gets formed when you're engaged in this way, where presence just blossoms between the two of you. And I don't know if I lost you, Eric, or you spotlighted me, but either way, I'm excited to share my journey of presence with all of you. And going through Thanksgiving and experiencing Thanksgiving with my family in the big setting, to starting December 1st, setting an intention for myself to show up and share my presence more with my community and across the world. And that's where on my social media pages, I decided to go live every day, and as much as possible. And it wasn't perfect. And some days I was off timing, some days I might have missed, some days it just came to just sharing pictures or sharing a story. And being able to do that, it built up my own presence and my own levels of integrity, of showing up for myself, and showing up for my kids, and showing up for God, for nature, and showing up for the community, and sharing little pieces, little nuggets of gold that I've learned along my journey. And it was a lot of fun. And I've definitely grown my comfort levels of being able to speak on a screen, even to speak of myself. Oh, Eric's calling me. Hey there, Eric. Okay. Well, I am still being broadcasted. So, and Eduardo sent me a message saying that you're trying to log in. So I don't know what you want me to do to close this out and we try to get back on. Okay. All right. Well, I took over the show there for a few minutes, so I will go ahead and log out, and we will try to reconnect, I guess. All right. All right. Oh, Eduardo said to stay on. Well, Eric is having trouble getting back.
So, Emily.
Oh, is he coming back? All
Let's-
right.
All right. Let's continue.
Welcome our amazing producer, Eduardo.
So yeah, I was listening to the conversation that you were having with Eric about, being present, being there during the holidays. And it's interesting because you always try to be closer. And there is Eric calling me. Give me 1 second. I know it's not Eric. Doesn't matter.
See, we just go with the flow, and
Yeah.
we can just keep moving forward, figure out
Yeah.
the text.
Yeah. So it's interesting because and look who's here. He just popped into the picture.
Where the heck did you guys go?
Where did you go?
I was being present off camera. Holy moly, what the heck just happened? I'm like, we're talking, all of a sudden, bing, I was gone. I went into La La Land somewhere.
Wow, such a strong connection. It just zapped you right out.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Holy moly. So sorry about that, everyone. I don't know what happened technology wise, but it just was like, okay, you're out.
Well, it was going well. I shared a little bit about what I've been doing on social media, sharing my presence, and taking that initiative myself to connect with my community and share myself more, and growing myself on camera, as I just did in this moment when I got spotlighted. It was leading the show. So.
There you go. There you go. Just take it over. It's all yours.
So that was fun. Glad to have you back, Eric.
So I don't know whether you covered this or not while while I was gone or not. But what led you to come up with this whole idea about the presence, and then go through this journey to presence, both with your family and then your social media presence? What prompted this to come about?
That's such a beautiful question. And, so many things leading up to that moment. However, it was really me connecting with my soul and connecting with God on the highest level that I ever had in my entire life. It was being able to feel his presence and welcome it, and to see it so much in others and in nature and everywhere, that I wanted to share the truth. I wanted to share my presence, and share what I've learned with as many people as possible. I would say this is serving God's will. What God wants for all of us is to be able to welcome and accept him fully in our lives, and to allow that guidance to guide us through life, to experience more beauty and more joy and more love. The most incredible ways you feel it. Like I feel it. I feel his presence. And that's really what led me up to that. Going through November and Thanksgiving. I did share a little bit of this earlier, but I'll share again. I did spend Thanksgiving with all of my family. And I have a humongous family, beautiful family. I love them all so very, very much. However, it can be very challenging to, as we all know, families can be challenging. And, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. And it was a beautiful Thanksgiving, and connecting with my dad along this journey. And in that moment, even during prayer on Thanksgiving, of him, feeling him connect with his soul, and in prayer and sharing, and just inviting us all to just accept each other. And, something in me shifted in that moment of, right. It was just so beautiful. And, I've been growing my own coaching business, and helping others. I've helped kids, coach kids, adults, teenagers, my own kids. And so it was just like my next level of, all right, what have my coaches been asking me to do for the last 3 years that I haven't done every day? That was also another one, right? It's like, okay. And even the entire month of December, I've taken a cold shower every single day consecutively, which I've gone off and on. So, it's, again, of answering that question of my soul growth. And bringing it together and wanting to share it.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you, Emily, for sharing that. As you were saying that, you know, what does it really mean to when you're saying connecting to nature or connecting to God, in that, looking for that inner peace, inner core peace. Um, what are some of your favorite go-tos on a daily basis of like when you're saying I wanted to connect or reconnect in those spaces, in those times? What, give us some examples on free, if you're comfortable in sharing that. Give us some examples on, what does that look like, sound like, or feel like for you in those spaces of reconnectivity.
Hmm. Um, I want to. There's so many little practices and building them up.
Hmm.
And one that just like over the last few months, it was like I was excited to wake up and be with God, and that
Mm,
just like motivated me to this next level of growth for myself. And every day, journaling has been like a huge part of that. Of immediately journaling and with a little self love and gratitude.
nice.
And any point in the day, if I feel a little bit off track, if I go straight back to my journal, pick it up, and write some things of gratitude, immediately I feel back and I feel
Yeah,
back in my soul.
nice.
And then connecting in nature. I'm very grateful. I live on a lake, and
Mhm.
I have about 75 stairs down to the dock,
Mm,
and I've made it a little bit part of my daily activity of working my body, but then it's become every single day. For the It was off and on, but then it's been every day for the last probably 8 months at least that I go down there first thing in the morning, and I stretch a little bit on the dock, and then I just sit in stillness and just embracing the water, the ducks that are floating by in that moment, the birds flying, and really just silencing the mind for a few moments, but not
yeah.
having my phone with me. And and then it just takes a couple minutes. And those are some of the my favorite ones. And going on walks,
Mhm.
um, you know, going on walks. So I'm looking out my window because right now there's trees, and on my walks, it's like surrounded by trees. And to me, the trees are just there. They're not just supporting the earth; they're supporting us
Yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
they clear the air so that we can breathe it.
Yeah.
And it's just like in gratitude on those walks, and
Mm,
in meditation, in prayer, and and saying that Our Father prayer. I
mhm.
grew up in a Catholic church, and it wasn't really until even recently that I really understood what I was doing when I was saying the Our Father. And
Mhm.
I'm surrendering to God's will.
Yeah.
I am inviting Him with intention to guide me. And so those are some of the daily things that I do. And there's more, you know, to me, it's like the order of when I wake up, it's God, it's nature, it's me, my kids.
Mhm. That's beautiful.
And
That's
then
beautiful.
sometimes it'll recirculate, right? And then it's my
Yeah.
community, and then the world. Like,
I just love that. Oh, when you're talking about walking down the steps to be on the dock, like, oh, that was a beautiful journey. Like I was there. I was so there as you were saying that because I could just picture it, right? I grew up in Connecticut, so I remember going down to the lakes and things. Yeah, we were by the beach too, but I that stillness in that early morning, that quiet, um, to be in that space and in that moment. I think that's why I love my quiet time in the morning, right? To set those intentions for the day and I love this time of the year because the Christmas tree is up. I got my Christmas lights all around the house, and those lights just bring me so much joy. And yeah, I love being able to look out the windows and see the different trees that we have outside. And and getting out into nature. Um, and Emily brought up a great point, friends. In that, that's her morning routine. That's how she's waking up and getting her day going, and it's purposeful. And what that's doing for you is really getting your heart space and head space in this really healthy environment for you to then go out and tackle the challenges of the day. And we know from taking time to get into this place of presence, how often do you have those moments where you're like something, an outside stimulus is coming in, you have this connection to how you set your day up, and you pause and understand, like, yeah, this is not going to be a big deal because I'm in a great headspace and heart space because I've gotten myself into that place early, first thing in the morning. How does that then lead for your rest of the day in navigating the challenges that come your way?
Oh, great question. And yes, that morning time is so important, of dedicating and being persistent with it. And it's like also like building this level of integrity,
Hmm.
for ourselves and for God and for life, of being able to show up for ourselves every day and setting myself up to succeed every day.
Yeah.
Now, in the beginning, there were days where I didn't journal and my day was completely off track and I
Hmm.
could feel the difference. And I'd be like, okay, I got to grab out my journal. I got to reset and
Yeah.
restart and then connect to it. And so being able to do that allows me to be present in the moment. And, no matter what, if I'm at a school event or with my kids or at a restaurant, I immediately, as I walk in the room, I set an intention to observe the space that I'm in
Mm.
and to connect with it in a way of just being grateful for all those amazing souls, all those beautiful souls coming together, no matter where it's at, what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
And then that creates a connection in the space, a
Hmm.
loving presence already there, then to amplify the peace in the room. And if someone dropped the turkey, it wouldn't phase me. Be like, life is happening for us. We weren't supposed to eat that turkey that day.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
And also that life is happening for us,
yeah.
has been a huge quote that, first heard from Tony Robbins a few years
Hmm.
back. And truly, life isn't happening to us, it's happening for us. And
Right.
there's always like an opportunity, to grow. It's always an opportunity. And
Hmm. Hmm.
right, even if we feel like we're failing, it's an opportunity to learn in that moment and grow from it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. And friends and family, I'd love to hear from you guys, because we're our energetic life now family is literally global. We're literally from all over the world, and so I would love to hear from you guys. Like, what do you do as part of your morning routine as you're waking to set the intention, or the sometimes they'll call it setting the mood or setting the expectations, of what kind of day I'm going to experience, what kind of day I'm going to have, so that when these challenges present themselves, I'm not going to get all worked up. I don't need to get all worked up, right? Because I'm understanding that I've set the tone for the day. Maybe I've even written it down. So as Emily's been talking to us, she's like, hey, listen, I'm going to journal it out. So my intention for that day is to live in peace and to do this and to do that. And we're going to write that down, because what Emily and I are going to share with, like, our master coaches, Dr. Joseph McClendon III, like, we know what you write, you invite. And we've learned that with him. We've learned that with Tony and other of our coaches, right? And so we intentionally set that for the day. And here's what I'm going to do today. I am going to expand what we call the 50-foot rule. In that, as Emily was saying, I'm walking into the restaurant. The love and the joy and the peace that I have in me is going to magnetize out to everyone within this 50-foot radius. That my love is going to flow out of me in such a manner that it is going to connect consciously and subconsciously to everyone in this proximity and space, that they are going to feel my love. They are going to feel my presence. They're not even going to understand it, but it's going to attract our magnetism together in a way that's going to bless them and bless me, whether they understand that, know that or not. And I just love, Emily, this journey that you're taking within the presence, because man, if I'm not doing that, I understand for me that it's like 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And I'm like, why am I so frazzled? Why am I so like not feeling right in myself? And then I go back to, oh, I jumped out of bed because something happened and I hit the ground running and I didn't go through my routine. I didn't take that time to get into this day like I normally do, like I like to do, to be present for myself, to make those connections. So share with us a little bit about, what that means to you, right? What if you missed that day? Like, what happens to Emily?
Oh, I love that. Well, you have the way you were describing it, which is absolutely beautiful. And, and those two that come down to beliefs in myself of being able to show up and know that I am love. We are love, right? And just take a deep breath with me for a second.
Right.
It's a beautiful way to live. And when I don't do that, and I've tested myself, I'm like, I've done this a million times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it works so good. But then I've noticed that, I will perhaps get through the experience. However, after the experience, I will feel differently. And there may be like a little bit more physical pain that comes on that I wasn't I wasn't set up to as my being of love and present with, that then I left myself open and vulnerable to receive some outside energies that or germs or whatever it may be to create some pain within me. However, not to say that anyone's projecting pain onto me. I want to be clear because, everyone is exactly where they're supposed to be. And so oftentimes we're not completely conscious of what we may be projecting in a space.
Sure.
And that's where then making that conscious decision that I do in that practice of showing up as in a state of being of love and peace and joy. And that's where, having that practice and becoming the state of being and going into a space, it is rippling out. I know it is. I feel it. I see it on the faces.
Yeah.
I see it in the engagements. And those that come to me are ready to engage and grow even more. And any pain that I have ever experienced in my body, excuse me, is always something showing me something in my own self to connect with that I'm ready to heal. So I take responsibility for my own energy and my own illnesses or pains or whatever that I experience, because it's something that perhaps is something that has maybe even occurred to me in my past that is now showing up in this current moment. So I think I got a little off track of your question. However, the energies and healing, goes along with us.
Yeah.
All of it. Right. And whenever our soul is ready to grow, it's ready to heal. anything that we never took the time to heal. You know, so many times, maybe when we were a kid, we were told not to cry. So we shoved it in our back pocket, right?
Yeah.
And what happens if we keep filling up that back pocket, we're going to end up having an ache in the back of our back, right?
Right.
So that's where then it's like, all right, here's the pain. You can
Yeah.
either ignore it and it can get worse, or we can call it out and see where it, where it rooted from.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that making sense, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. You know, because I know for me, when I don't get into that space that I want to be for that day, and I'm not manifesting this for myself, and I'm not setting those attentions, it will derail me super quick. And then it's almost like, you know, that reset button that then needs to be pushed. And I gotta literally just go, all right, time out. I need to get back into this space of peace, calm, love, joy, whatever words I want to put into that, because it is what I want to bring in. And then I need to get myself recentered so that I can then put that out. And you know, as we talk about, you know, the aches and pains and different things of that, right? Why am I getting a headache? Why am I feeling like this? Why am I so frustrated? Why is my anxiety going up? What? And identifying these emotions and understanding and looking at where they're coming from and the whys. And, you know, I think for me and my growth over the last, you know, whatever years, I've been in this space of neuroencoding and you know, really working on me, is to really understand why and where these emotions are coming from. And this is where the beauty of what you're doing in the presence comes in, because how quickly I've programmed myself, if you will, hardwired or rewired my brain in that place of understanding is where is this emotion surfacing from? And I'll connect to that within my body systems to understand, oh, this was something from childhood, this is something from my teen years, my young adult, my adult life, this is now. And then being able to work through that and get myself realigned with understanding, I don't need to carry that negative emotion with me. And so I can forgive myself, I can forgive others. So this is part of that presence for me, forgiving myself, forgiving others, understanding I don't want to bring that emotion with me from the past. And I'm going to let it go right here and now, and let that go, and understand that's that situation, that relationship, whatever it is, I can heal myself from that and let that go, so I can now focus in on the things that are important to me, which is the love and the peace and the joy and being happy and being content and being in the heart of service, not only for myself but for others as well. And I think that's really, really important when you're looking at how do I be present, and because a lot of that comes in here and here, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and really attaching myself in those spaces of a deepened level of understanding, so then I can come out of that space and be like, yeah, I can do this. This is great. This is good. And I'm going to push through this. Share with us a little bit about maybe an experience or something that you had recently in your journey to presence, of which you were like, bam, oh, I so nailed that. You're thinking of something right now. I could tell. As I was saying it, you're like, you're clicking with them. I could tell it. I could tell.
Absolutely. I just love everything that you said. And, you know, that forgiveness is so important. And right. And releasing those thoughts that get us distracted as well. And so all of that is just playing a beautiful role in this practice of becoming present and being present. And, you know, so many experiences I can think of. I can think of one of yesterday. Oh, yes, absolutely. You know, I woke up yesterday morning actually very, very grateful. And I felt like even like a weight off my shoulders because Christmas was over, Christmas Day. Like Christmas, even though I had this beautiful journey to Christmas, there was still pressure
Oh
on
yeah.
Christmas Day with expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And then that in itself became a little even challenging in that moment of testing me, of bringing up older versions of me when I didn't feel safe or that I wasn't showing up enough, and then being able to call out those emotions and recognizing it, like having a high level of anxiety and almost fear of not wanting to do something that I had knew that I wanted to do and saw so much great opportunity in it. But there was so much fear all of a sudden that just came upon me, and I went to my journal, and then I just started writing my gratitude. I'm like, all right, let's reconnect even just with this day. What have I experienced today? And all these beautiful moments, reminding myself, raising those levels of joy, endorphins, dopamine, all of that within my mind. And again, like you said, rewiring all of it, rewiring our nervous system to create this even more without always having to go to the practice. But the practice is what the repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So and then of course praise is the father. And and so doing that and recognizing that emotion that I'm feeling very anxious right now, and I want to feel excited about this opportunity. And that was the truth. I even wrote down the question, what is the truth? And as I did that, it was like all of a sudden everything that I knew already that I'd forgotten briefly came back to me. I'm like, oh yes, I'm so excited for this opportunity, and I see so many possibilities. And then I was able to do the work that I needed to do to get done, and felt again like this layer just coming off of me that was on my shoulders. And I went out to my girls. I'm like, I totally just caught myself and shifted out of it. And then I had so much excitement and so much joy. And I was like, oh, we got to have a dance party. We got to have some fun here. And did some push-ups before dinner. I was like, oh my gosh, the energy is high.
Love it. Love it.
And, that was an intense moment. And, it's not always intense moments. It's sometimes they're just small. And even with my kids and my 7-year-old, I'm feeling frustrated that like playing a game and not winning. And
right. Exactly.
Oh my and we're all playing this game of life. And so playing that game of life with my kids, it was a fun experience to learn. And I played with my 7 and 10-year-old and teaching them to play. I was even reteaching myself to play this time. And I didn't realize how much game of life was just an exchange of money in the entire game. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was quite interesting. But then it's as money is an exchange, energy is an exchange. So I was seeing lessons in that, and there's always like living life with purpose, and always seeing opportunities as an opportunity to learn something, no matter what it is, right? And if someone randomly comes up, starts having a conversation with me, immediately just like sit back and get curious. It's like, what, I don't even know this person. And they're engaging, they're sharing their entire life with me. And then it's just being able to sit back and observe and listen and create that connection. And being able to do that, it's growing my soul and it's growing their soul. And then it ripples to everyone in that space and even further. I have even had an experience of being in a space where this happened. And then afterwards, a few women from across the room, they're like, what just happened over here? We felt that.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's great. That's great. So, as you were talking about, how things come across, our lives each day and how we how we respond based on, the intentions that we're setting for the day. Like, I mean, Christmas Day, we pop out of bed, we're all excited. We know that crazy Christmas Day schedule. My kids are a little bit older, so they were going to, they got their boyfriends and girlfriends, and it was okay. We're going to do this from this time to this time, and then they got to go, and then we got these people coming over this time to this time, and then they got to go, and then we got this. And throughout the course of the whole morning of Christmas morning, it was great. Everything was working out. And then Jen and I just had this moment where we both looked at each other, and at the same time, we just connected, and we went, oh my gosh, we forgot to take out the meat to sit at room temperature, which the prime rib should have been sitting out for hours getting to room temperature. And here we now are like, I don't know, it's like 11 a.m. And we're like, oh no, because everybody was coming over here for dinner. All right, what do we know to be true? Well, the meat's got to sit out. It's got to get to room temperature before we can get it in the oven. We can prep it. We can do everything else. And then, okay, well, dinner's going to be delayed a good hour and a half. Is that going to be okay? And then we're like, yeah, of course it's going to be okay. Like, what does it matter? We're just going to text everyone, say, listen, dinner's going to be in come, an hour later, or not, come at, whatever time, and come hang out and chill. Right. And everything worked out beautifully. But I mean, that moment could have been so stressful. We could have been pointing fingers at each other. Oh, that was your fault. You didn't get out the meat. Oh, it was your fault. You didn't remind me. Blah, 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 blah. Right. And that's what we're saying here, friends and family, is like, we have these moments, almost like little life tests, if you will. How are you going to navigate through that moment? Right. What kind of presence are you going to bring into that space to understand and know and realize it's all about the choices that you're making to stay in that head and heart space, and of which you're going to keep your peace, keep your calm, keep your joy, and not allow the emotional attachment to what's going on to rob and steal you of that and take away that joy. And that is, for me, has been so enlightening. And I know that has for you too, in being able to stay within that space. The next part I can't wait to ask you about is how, tell us how this has been going through the journey with your kids, right? Because your youngest, you said, is 7, right?
Yes.
And on up into the teens, right? So what have they discovered about themselves, about each other, about your family, you as a mom, in this journey to presence that you've been taking them, and that they've joined you with in this journey to presence?
That's so beautiful. Yes, my kids are 7, 10, 17, and my oldest is 20.
Mm-hmm.
And, for each of them that have their own unique personality, and they receive mom's wisdom differently.
Don't they though?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And, during this whole Christmas break, for my 7-year-old and my 10-year-old, and even before that, as the last few weeks, most of December, actually, in the mornings, my 7-year-old and 10-year-old will come and join me in my space, and they still do every day. And they come in, and I say go sit in the sunlight, because the sunlight always shines in my door, in my window. And we sit, and I ask them about if they had any dreams, and I ask them to tell me something they're grateful for, and we just chat, we just share, and we laugh with each other. So that is them joining me on this journey, and more. And my older two, my one-on-one presence with them a lot is sometimes driving them back and forth to where they need to go. And talking to them and connecting with them. And I love to ask them when I pick them up from work, what their most interesting customer was for the day. And that'll open them up to connecting to their own moments. And they become more curious while they're at work during that day of being able to share that with me when I pick them up. And, my girls have been incredible. I'm so blessed and grateful to have each of them and to have them grow with me over, especially these last 4 years of being able to grow together. Like, a lot of this has been a virtual growth for me, and I have been in some in-person events, but a lot of it was virtually. So I brought it into my home. And, as I'm a part of some big events and celebrating and connecting with people, they're observing and they're seeing. So like this journey has, worldwide come into my living space and then and into my girls and seeing, right, what our kids see their parents do. They learn from it and they practice it. And oftentimes especially my older ones, they would tell me stories of, they were like, I was talking to my friend and I said something and I'm like, wait a second. They're telling them something that I taught them, that interesting wisdom that they may have not taken themselves at that moment, but I planted that seed, right? And, and Christmas Day, my older two, they were so extra generous this year themselves. Like they went Christmas shopping and bought all of us a whole bunch of presents and participated in cooking up some foods and playing games together.
Yeah.
And we went to, what really, right before Christmas, we went to a Jets trampoline park.
Oh, fun.
and that was perfect timing for us too. And especially for my older ones, to see them just reconnect with their inner child.
Yeah.
And then to bring that into the holiday for us together. And it's been really beautiful.
Yeah. I love that. And friends and family around the world, you guys probably picked up on that as well, is as Emily's talking about that, not only is she living it for herself personally, but she's modeling this for her kids and she's bringing them along. And so they're hearing and seeing mom talk the talk and walk the walk. And that is so, so key in this journey as we're helping our kids, along in this journey, in this process. And I know, Emily, you work with kids as well. You're in the schools and you get opportunities to do that. And you're coaching as well. Give us a little bit snippet on what you do in that space.
Sure. Yes, in my community, I have some in-person classes where I'll go and teach the tools that I've learned, and we'll do some meditations and energy healing work. I work one-on-one as well with clients, and just as recently, I dedicated 3 days of my time into a daycare center, and walking in as the observer and seeing the space shift from crying children and complaining staff to, by the third day, of complete peace and happy faces.
Beautiful.
It was quite incredible, quite beautiful. And, so many opportunities to see me there in person or worked with me on Zoom. I'm here to help anyone that's ready to receive some support. And I just know that having support for myself during a divorce, during moving, I moved 7 times before I ended up where I'm at. And my kids through 9 schools.
Yeah.
So having that support along the way has really been a valuable tool. And then just all, surprisingly, so much of it coming back to my spirituality and connecting with God. And God takes us on paths And we may not know exactly where we're going. We may have an intention, and he's going to surprise us along the way if we just, with trust and faith. That's where, like where you said earlier, it came to mind of we can either live in faith or we can live in fear.
Yep.
And I choose to live in faith, and
Beautiful.
it makes those moments where I may feel an emotion. Knowing that it's happening for me.
Yeah.
And it just allows it to move through and to get on to the next level of beauty each time.
Emily, thank you so much for that. Reconnect us again on ways to get a hold of you. If you want to have more information, if you want to connect with Emily on her social media and go back through that journey to presence, all of her videos are there. Remind us how to get a hold of those.
Yes, on my Facebook page, Emily Celine Surdyke, and on my Instagram, A Pirate's Eye Perspective and Ignited Presence. And my coaching page is Loving Life Coaching. So
Beautiful.
All places to find me. I'm
Awesome.
here. I love this so much, Eric. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Friends and family, you guys know how to get a hold of me, Energetic Life Now, on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and my website, energeticlifenow.com. Thank you so much. You guys know I'm a teen parent and family success coach. And starting January 2nd, I am launching a masterclass called the Man Cave Mastermind. It's a 12-week program where the guys, we're going to get together and hang out and just be guys and learn and grow in a lot of these same things that Emily was talking about. So jump over to my social media, get on there and get the QR code and scan that for some more info. I'd love to have you join me on that masterclass starting January the 2nd. It's going to be phenomenal. The content is amazing, and I can't wait to join all of us guys from around the world on the Man Cave Mastermind. Emily, thanks again so much for being here. It was truly an honor and a blessing to have you, and just welcome all the blessings to you and your family for 24. And it's going to be a rocking year. Thank you so much for being here. This show, friends and family, can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check it out at SpanglishWorld.ca for all the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and live it. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.